So I'm here today to talk about adulthood, which is a thing that I should, in theory, know something about because I've been an adult for well over a decade. That's funny.
The Nerd Fighters!
So a lot of people talk about adulthood being a process, and I think they're largely right. And it's something that we're all, at least to some degree, faking most of the time. I'm sure there are lots of things that I'm supposed to know because I'm an adult that I don't know, and I'm really okay with that. So where I'm struggling right now on my journey in adulthood is how to be a professional adult while also not losing my own identity. So during my days, I live in an academic world where professionalism and success are the goals that we're all supposed to strive for, and it's really competitive and sort of a constant comparison to everybody else around me. But here's the thing, even after having done some of those things that define success in that context, I still feel like an imposter. So for those of you who aren't familiar with that term, imposter syndrome usually refers to that feeling that you're a total fake and a fraud and oh my gosh, everyone is looking at you and they're expecting you to say something smart and they're gonna realize you're a total idiot and... So imposter syndrome is a reality in academia and also in adulthood in general, and I feel like it's a common thing. In fact, with imposter syndrome, I think we should just acknowledge that everyone's kind of faking it, so just cut each other some slack. Maybe. So if you, like me, feel like an imposter who's faking it most of the time, take heart, dear friends, you are not alone. Yet I do really value being a professional. I enjoy the challenges of my work, I love working with other people to make the world at least a little bit of a better place, and I love solving complex problems. But for me, the challenge really lies in finding a balance between being a professional and also being like a real human being who enjoys things like Pizzamas and Stargate SG-1 and singing in a choir and reading young adult novels and hanging out on YouTube. In fact, it's all of the things that my colleagues in the professional world kind of raise their eyebrows at. And I think this is really exacerbated by social media. Like, you know how you might follow somebody on Twitter who posts blogs or videos or stats about whatever their professional area of expertise is, but then you also have other people who are able to be really personable and open in their opinions and share impassioned statements using things like a poop emoji. And I want to be able to do both, but I don't see a lot of people who are able to do that well. It's like you can't be both a professional and a real human on social media. Related, if you know anyone on social media who you think does a great job of walking the line of professional and personal, suggest them in comments. I'd like to know who they are. The problem, at least the way I see it, is that society tends to pit professionalism and personal interests against one another. Like, people won't view you as a legitimate professional who could contribute to the world if you also make videos on YouTube. And there's some sort of weird pressure that I feel to not really be myself because I'm a professional. And that's really sad to me. It's like somewhere along the line I lost my inner child, and that's something I'd really like to get back. Challenge accepted! So that's something I'm trying to figure out how to balance right now, and I think being a part of online communities like Nerdfighteria or YouTube more generally has been really helpful for me, especially when I'm feeling confined to that professional box. These communities help keep me silly and creative and young at heart, especially when the rest of the world is telling me to be very serious and professional. So thank you to all of the creators out there who make great content that makes me laugh, makes me think about the world differently, and just makes me want to be a better human. It's been so valuable to me to have these wonderfully accepting communities like NFI where I can explore how to walk that personal professional line. And I'll end with one of my favorite quotes about the value of silliness because I think it's important to remember, especially when we get stuck in the I must be an adult now kind of mentality. There's a direct correlation between the level of happiness in someone's life and the amount of silliness they allow into it, she said. I know. I've done studies. Science! Well, sort of. But I think it's important, especially in the professional world, to acknowledge that professionals are people too, and they have passions and interests and silliness that make them more interesting human beings. And I think we should let people share that more freely and without judgment. And for all of you who are entering into the professional world, work to hang on to your silliness, your passions, and your joy in any way that you can. Because speaking from experience, adulthood is a lot more fun if you can embrace your inner child. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, you can give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to NFI, because this channel's great, I love it, and Gnome, I'll see you tomorrow!